And now for our next news special report.
And now in this special report, we're unraveling a story that hits at the core of our national security and the very principles of our republic. Imagine a presidential candidate, Vivek Ramaswamy, bold enough to propose dismantling the FBI, only to be met with a chilling warning from a man who's seen it all from the inside. Be very careful, he says. But what lurks behind these words? This isn't just a tale of political aspirations, it's a narrative that exposes the underbelly of our nation's most powerful law enforcement agency. What does this mean for Ramaswamy? And more importantly, for every American citizen? You can't afford to miss what we've uncovered, and stay tuned because my final thought tonight is not just a conclusion, it's a wake-up call to our great republic. Now, before we dive deeper into our report, let's talk about something critical. Just like Vivek Ramaswamy is trying to trim down the excess in our government agencies, many of us are dealing with our own kind of excess, belly fat. It's a serious issue, much like the bureaucratic bloat Ramaswamy's challenging. That's why I'm thrilled about this innovative solution that mirrors Ramaswamy's approach, cutting through the unnecessary to get results. This product is designed to reduce fat storage, enhance metabolism, and support weight management, resonating with our ethos of efficiency and effectiveness. Get 51% off this month at trimwithgary.com. It's about getting our house in order, whether it's our national institutions or our personal health. Now, in an era where trust in our government institutions is wavering, the story of Vivek Ramaswamy's encounter with a former FBI agent is more than just another campaign trail anecdote. It's a microcosm of a much larger, more concerning narrative about the state of our national law enforcement and the implications of its current trajectory. So let's set the scene first. Ramaswamy, a GOP presidential candidate, he's been vocal about his proposal to overhaul the FBI. His stance isn't just about restructuring, it's a fundamental question of the agency's role and effectiveness in its current form. His plan, bold and unequivocal, calls for the dissolution of the FBI and the redistribution of its duty to other federal agencies. It's a move that challenges the status quo and does invite controversy and debate from all sides. So this brings us to the telling encounter that Ramaswamy just had in Iowa. A man introducing himself as Mike Wyatt, a former FBI agent, confronts Ramaswamy with a cautionary message. Be careful. These two words, simple yet loaded with implications, speak volumes. Now, Wyatt, a man who claims to have dedicated 22 years of his life to the FBI, serving in capacities ranging from SWAT to counterintelligence and counterterrorism, is not just any critic. His advice, coming from a place of experience in the very institution Ramaswamy seeks to dismantle, carries a weight that cannot be ignored. Let's watch.
What's your name, sir?
Mike Wyatt.
Mike, good to meet you.
They ruined my bureau. When I went in, it was fidelity, bravery, integrity. They've broken my heart. This can't be. This can't go on. And
we will, and I like the way you're pushing, because those are my instincts, right? But I can tell you what we can immediately get done. Well, thank you for your service.
I'm tired, but Jesus, be careful.
I will. We will. I mean, we're guided by our purpose. I know that it can get ugly. You mean like
yes,
be careful, be
very
careful.
careful.
Yeah. What did you do in the bureau?
I worked. I was a SWAT guy, but I worked counterintelligence and counterterrorism, and I was one of those guys that was convinced they would never do it.
You were, how many years were you in the FBI?
22. I was a cop before that.
Okay, and you're worried.
Yes, I'm worried.
Okay.
Just retired.
What would you do in my shoes?
I'd get some very, very competent help.
Okay.
And some very competent people do some intelligence work for you before you went places.
Okay.
Just walk around, talk to people, and maybe get a feeling.
Okay.
Because that's what I did for a living. I got people to tell me what they didn't want to tell me. And the other thing is, I'm now an entrepreneur. I'm trying to follow in your footsteps, but I don't think my worm farm is going to catch up with you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We'll take that seriously, man. I'm reading between the lines of what you're saying, and we got you.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll take care of ourselves. And
you've seen how aggressive these alphabet organizations have become. They're coming after you.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But we're ready. We'll be ready.
If you think you're going back into private life, if this doesn't work out, they're coming.
Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Wow. But why the warning? What does be careful really mean in this context? Is it a friendly piece of advice from a concerned citizen, or is there an undercurrent of something more sinister, an implicit acknowledgement of the potential repercussions Ramaswamy could face for his audacious stand against a powerful government agency? The conversation doesn't stop there. Wyatt goes on to offer practical advice suggesting that Ramaswamy should employ very competent people to do some intelligence work for his campaign events. It's a recommendation that speaks to the need for caution and preparedness in a political landscape that can often be hostile and unpredictable. Wyatt's wife, you saw her joining in the conversation, echoes these sentiments. She spoke about the aggressiveness of the alphabet organizations and warns that they might come after Ramaswamy, especially if he plans to retreat into private life should his political ambitions not materialize. This addition brings a personal, human element to the story, illustrating the widespread concern and skepticism towards federal agencies among everyday Americans. Now let's delve into the crux of Ramaswamy's proposal. His plan to dismantle the FBI is not just a political statement, it's a comprehensive strategy aimed at addressing what he perceives as deep-seated issues within the agency. Ramaswamy accuses the FBI of redundancy and waste, mission creep, and political weaponization. These are strong allegations pointing to an inefficiency and deviation from the FBI's original law enforcement purposes. And his proposal, you can see it on the screen here, isn't just about cutting back, it's about refocusing and realigning. Ramaswamy suggests a more streamlined approach with greater specialization for greater security. This vision entails not just a reduction in workforce and investigative costs, but also a push for financial savings and, crucially, reducing bias and restoring accountability. These are concepts that resonate with many Americans who feel that their government agencies have grown too large, too intrusive, and too unaccountable. The plan also calls for transparency and cabinet-level oversight, aiming to quickly identify and address corruption. This, Ramaswamy argues, is essential for restoring the Bureau's credibility. The proposed reformation is depicted as a necessary shakeup of the status quo, challenging the established norms of federal law enforcement collaboration. The reaction to Ramaswamy's proposal has been varied. Supporters applaud his courage and agree with his assessment of the FBI's current state. Critics, however, argue that such a drastic overhaul could jeopardize national security and disrupt the delicate balance of power within the federal law enforcement framework. Ramaswamy's stance also draws attention to the legacy of J. Edgar Hoover, a long-serving FBI director known for his controversial methods and the power he wielded. Hoover's tenure symbolizes for many the potential dangers of a federal law enforcement agency that operates with little oversight and significant autonomy. The comparison is stark and intentional, serving as a historical reminder of what can happen when power goes unchecked. The candidate's plan is ambitious, and some might say radical, but it's more than just a political ploy. It's a conversation starter, a catalyst for broader discussion about the role of federal law enforcement in our republic. It's a debate about efficiency, ethics, and the balance between security and civil liberties. As we analyze this story, we must ask ourselves, what is the role of the FBI in modern America? Has it strayed too far from its original purpose? Are Ramaswamy's concerns about politicization and mission creep valid? And most importantly, what does this mean for the average American citizen? It's a complex issue, one that requires careful consideration and a balanced approach. But one thing is clear, Ramaswamy's proposal has struck a chord. It has ignited a debate that goes to the very heart of our nation's values and principles upon which our republic stands. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe, because this isn't a story about a presidential candidate and a former FBI agent. It's a story about the future of our nation, the integrity of our institutions, and the ongoing struggle to ensure that those who wield power are held accountable. Now, tonight's story isn't just a report. It's a reflection of a deeper issue that's facing our republic. Ramaswamy's encounter with a former FBI agent, his daring proposal to dismantle this powerful agency, raises fundamental questions about the nature of power, authority, and oversight in our government. It's a wake-up call, reminding us that the institutions we've entrusted with immense power must remain accountable to the people. This is not about one man's political ambitions or a single agency's actions. It's about ensuring our republic remains true to its founding principles of liberty, justice, transparency. Every American should be concerned about the potential for misuse of power and the need for reform. Excuse me. It's cold. Now, the story matters because it's about our collective future, the integrity of our institutions, and the kind of country we want to be. Remember, in a republic, the power ultimately lies with the people, so let's not forget that.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.